This is a Rough Tiger production.
And you, and you, and you, and you were there. Some of it wasn't very nice, but most of it was beautiful.
If you
Hello.
can't post bail, you shouldn't do the time, right, Brian? Um,
That's what she said. Wait.
uh, no, yeah, welcome to Dream Idiots. I'm Morris, that's Brian,
Howdy.
and we are here for another installment of our podcast where we tell each other stories, and you're along for the ride.
Yes, indeed. Thanks for joining us yet again. Thanks for doing those things for us online. You've been doing so well. Please like and share and subscribe our episodes. Steal someone else's phone and subscribe to them as well. And you can find us on Instagram at Dream Idiots, Facebook at Dream Idiots. Drop us a line, as several of you have of note recently. Dream Idiots Podcast at Gmail. And then just go to dreamidiots.com for list of episodes and merchandise and crap like that. So
We are still waiting on the Howerton sentencing, so no update there.
So a couple that was 2 weeks ago, I guess, was when we talked about the Kaylee Mandati story and the worthless gorilla that is responsible for her death. Yeah, he was found guilty, but we don't know what his sentencing is yet. So hopefully he's. I think when you're found guilty, you're hauled off. So he's definitely in custody now. He's not just out on bail roaming free. But
you better hope so with what you've been saying about him.
I know, right? Hello. But hopefully he'll be a guest of the state of Texas for a good long while.
Yes, and we are a very unfortunate update with the folks who vanished exploring the Titanic. It sounds like they were dead almost immediately from what happened with the submersible there at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean.
One can only hope that it was instantaneous.
Yes, one can. So I guess that's it for updates.
Yep.
We are in the latter stages of July, and it is or June, and it is
where am I?
Time flies when you're old. It is episode 72, and that means I get to go first. So we just passed June 21st, which was the actual beginning of summer, correct? Last week. And Brian, I've been thinking a lot about summer school simply because did you ever do summer school as a young person?
Never ever. I never did summer school. Not even in college. I never did an extra class ever. Not even once.
I did. You either do summer school to catch up because you missed something or to get ahead. And right. I took geology with Simon and Catherine and the legendary Pat Cox. I took geology at Trinity one summer to try to get a little bit ahead. And oh boy, what a class that was. Summer geology. And I've just been thinking a lot about summer school and where it came from and who decided to do it, which is a long way of saying, Brian, this particular bit I'm about to do here is dedicated to all the students and administrators and teachers who are suffering through summer school right now, getting ahead or catching up or doing their best to handle that endless class that happens when you do engage in summer school.
Right.
That's why, Brian, this is the college game 4th edition.
Oh God. Okay.
All right. Do I need to explain it at this point, or should we just do it?
No.
We'll explain it.
Well,
do I need to explain it for you at this point?
No, I know the rules. This is the one. I mean, the Ultima Verba game I've done. The last couple times I've done pretty well at. The last two times we did the fucking college game, I screwed the pooch pretty much, as I recall. But okay, just for the listeners, you might want to explain the rules.
Okay, so in this college rhyming game, Brian has to complete a phrase which reflects the college or university name, the mascot, or the city where the college or university is located. I'm going to give Brian and you, the listeners, 3 examples I always give, and I'm going to read Brian 10 setup lines that he has to complete. There's no offense meant to any of these schools or cities or mascots. We
sure.
both support higher education here at Dream Idiots. It's just the rhyme scheme. If Bryan gets 7 correct answers before I finish the list, he wins the game. If he gets 6 or less, he loses. But if Bryan gets to 6 correct answers after 10 questions, I'm going to give him an 11th setup as a lifeline to get to that 7th correct answer. So essentially, he has to get 7 out of 11 answers right. We have 3 levels
for the big cash prize for the what?
Yes.
Just okay.
If Bryan loses, we have to play this ridiculous game all over again on a future episode. But the big news is that if he wins, he gets to play this game again on a future episode. My examples I always give are: if you're at Michigan State and someone yanks your shorts down, you've just received an East Lansing pantsing. If you're at Washington or Connecticut and you haven't had a proper bath in a while, you might smell like a musky husky.
Musky husky, right?
Yeah, and if you attend that good old private Christian university in Malibu, California, and you're an exceptionally attractive person, you are looking fine at Pepperdine. There are 3 rounds: easy, medium, and hard, consisting of 3, 4, and 3 questions respectively. Bryan, let's get started, shall we? Are you ready?
Ding, ding, ding. Okay, I'm ready.
Ding,
I'm ready.
ding. Bryan,
Hey.
I know you do. I know. Round 1, question 1. Bryan, for this question, your name is not Bryan, but is it in fact you? It is in fact Timmy. Your name is Timmy for this question, and you attend an Ivy League university in Ithaca, New York. You've had to send your trusty dog Lassie for help. You've fallen down the blank at blank.
The well at Cornell.
The well at Cornell. Very good. That's 1 for 1. Round 1, question 2. Bryan, you can't eat, you can't sleep. You're at your wit's end at your large public university in Lubbock, Texas. You're a blank blank at blank blank.
Well, Texas Tech. So
Can't eat, you can't sleep. You're at your wit's end. Pacing a lot, maybe. You're a blank blank at Texas Tech. You got the Texas Tech part right.
blank blank at Texas Tech.
Tearing your hair out. Pacing. Headed for a breakdown.
Nervous wreck at Texas Tech.
A nervous wreck at Texas Tech. Damn,
Yeah.
Bryan. All right, 2 for 2. Round 1, question 3. I really hope that the people I've talked to about listening to this podcast don't ever listen to one of these episodes first. Bryan, question 3. You need to take a nap after the latest thrilling basketball win for the Orange at your private university in New York State. You're going to blank in blank.
Say it again.
You need
Syracuse.
to take a nap.
Okay, go ahead.
You need to take a nap after the latest thrilling basketball win for the Orange at your private university in New York State. You're going to blank in blank. And you did get the Syracuse part right. So you're going to blank in Syracuse.
Blank in.
You need to take a nap because you're so worn out. So you need to what in Syracuse? Bryan hates this game, hates this game, hates this game.
Nothing rhymes with Syracuse.
Oh, you're going to hate yourself if you get this wrong. Oh, and I'm looking at the next round. You're really going to hate the next round. Well, what do you call it when you take a nap? You do what are some synonyms for nap?
Sleep, snooze,
Stop.
snooze at Syracuse.
Snooze at Syracuse.
Oh, okay. Oh, so okay. You give me nuts.
showcase showdown, motherfucker. Okay. Hey, you went 3 for 3 in round 1, Brian. That's excellent. So let's get on to the medium level.
Okay.
Brian, question 4. Round 2, question 4. It's creative arts time at your private university in Fort Worth. You're going to build a statue of the school mascot entirely out of frankfurters and fried batter. It'll be a blank, 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 blank.
Oh, fuck.
Entirely out of frankfurters and fried batter. It'll be a blank, 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 blank. Private university.
Oh, it'll be a corn dog, horn frog.
A corn dog, horn frog. Very good.
The more we play this game, the more I wonder about your mental health. I'm just saying.
Oh, hey, thank you very much.
How do you come up with this?
And I will say that some of these were written in the car with my son and I, just throwing words back and forth, trying to figure some stuff out. But William was a big help with this one. I think Daniel threw in for one of them as well. Bryan, you've got the lovely and talented Emily Post as your instructor at your private university in Milwaukee. She teaches blank at blank.
Emily Post?
Emily Post.
I don't know who that is.
At your private university in Milwaukee. She teaches blank at blank. If you don't know who Emily Post is, you might be screwed on this question.
Yeah, I'm whiffing on this one.
He teaches etiquette at Marquette.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, I wouldn't have gotten that.
Well, you're still 4 for 5. But this is probably where you're going to start screwing up, Bryan. Question 6 from round 2. You've joined a sewing club at your private university in Nashville. You're currently making a blanket blank.
Blanket at Vanderbilt? No, it's
Sewing
Vanderbilt,
circle?
right? Cool.
Yeah.
A quilt at Vanderbilt.
Quilt at Vanderbilt.
Okay, 5 out of 6.
5 for 6. Holy shit.
Uh-huh.
Bryan,
I'm not gonna start bragging now.
The last question of the medium level, Bryan. You attend this historically black university in Louisiana where you enjoy a nice stroll on the weekend. You sometimes go blank at blank.
I'm sorry. Say it again.
You attend this historically black university in Louisiana where you enjoy a nice stroll on the weekend. You sometimes go blank at blank.
Shit. I'm gonna be pissed at this one. I don't know.
Bryan, you go rambling at Grambling.
Dang it.
He hit the desk so hard the camera shook. That was good.
Damn it.
You still got 5 though. You just gotta get 2 more. But now we're in the hard level, Bryan. Question 8. While studying at the University of Arizona, you join a large community of conspiracy-minded folks who believe that Donald Trump battled a cabal of child molesters whose members consisted of politicians, Hollywood celebrities, and business figures. You're a member of blank in blank.
I'm sorry. Okay, read the whole thing again.
While studying at the University of Arizona, you join a large community of conspiracy-minded folks who believe that Donald Trump battled a cabal of child molesters whose members consist of politicians, Hollywood celebrities, and business figures. You're a member of blank in blank.
QAnon in Tucson.
QAnon in Tucson, Bryan. Holy shit. You are on the verge of greatness. Question 9. If you get this one right, we're done. You don't have to hear the other two. So you're trying to stay awake to cram for all of your finals at Western Kentucky University. As such,
Okay.
you are slamming no-dos on the reg. You might be called a blank, 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 blank.
Eastern Kentucky.
Western Kentucky.
Western Kentucky.
Screw compasses. I hate compasses. I hate cardinal directions. Screw cardinal directions.
Kentucky has colleges.
Oh, that was uncalled for.
Sorry, Kentucky.
You're trying to stay awake to cram for all your finals at Western Kentucky University. So you're slamming no-dos on the reg. You might be called a blank, 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 blank.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, you might be called a hilltopper pill popper, Brian.
I wouldn't have got that one.
I've been saving that since before we started the podcast. That was one of the very first ones I came up with. So you're at 6. All right. Speaking of Kentucky, Brian, the sheriff of Hazard, Kentucky has moved all the way across the country, Brian. He's attending classes at the University of Idaho. He'll be blank in blank. The sheriff of Hazard, Kentucky, has moved all the way across the country, where he's attending classes at the University of Idaho. He'll be blank in blank.
Moseying and Boise. No.
Neither of those is correct.
It's not Boise.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, Brian, you'll be Roscoe in Moscow.
Yeah, again, wouldn't have got that one.
Roscoe P. Coltrane.
Yeah.
Okay, Moscow. Moscow. Yeah.
Yeah, but I wouldn't have known Moscow.
All right,
I'm still pleased I got the Tucson one right. So
I think the Tucson one was great. Now the lifeline. This one's you're gonna get this one. I got a good feeling, Brian. You're gonna win the game. Here's your lifeline
no pressure.
question.
Okay.
We're 6 for 10, so I'm throwing you this lifeline. At your private university in Coral Gables.
Oh shit, Florida. Okay.
You express yourself artistically by fronting a Nirvana cover band. Your band is called blank blank. Private university. And you're fronting a Nirvana cover band.
Fuck, I don't know.
Well, what do you know about Nirvana?
In Teen Spirit. Never mind. Yeah.
How many universities? Yeah, you're gonna get it. You're gonna get it. How many universities are in Florida? Come on. Private university.
Private universities. So, Florida State, Florida, those are public. I don't know. I give up. Uncle.
Oh, Brian, God damn it, you're so close. At your private university in Coral Gables, you express yourself artistically by fronting a Nirvana cover band. Your band is called Cobain's Hurricanes.
Yeah, that was too hard. I was never going to get that.
That was William's contribution to the quiz. God, you're so 6. I'm going to write this at the top. 6
for 11. For 11.
See me after class. See me after.
C plus.
Brian, you came so close.
No,
there.
D plus.
We will work on it, and I will get back to you in the fall with another edition of the college quiz.
Very nice.
Go to your chapter meeting of QAnon in Tucson, Brian.
That one was pretty good, I have to admit. Yeah. The rhyming spot on.
Hey friends, I'm Katie.
And I'm Emily.
And we're the hosts of Malice
and Mocktails,
a true crime podcast. We are just two sisters covering cases of both vintage and contemporary true crime. And because true crime can be a bit of a bummer, at the end of every episode, we share with you some of our favorite mocktail recipes. Join us every week wherever you get your podcasts. And until next time,
make good choices.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. Well, I guess it's time to talk dirty a little bit.
It's time for the Dream Idiot's curse word of the week.
Yes, but not that dirty.
Oh, okay.
Curse word this week comes to us from Scotland. The word is mooth, mooth. So right now I am probably mooth, but you are probably not mooth.
Drinking?
Nope. Mooth is a Scottish slang term for exhausted from heat. Yeah, I'm a trifle mooth. So, because right now it's 104 degrees outside, or was today here in fabulous Texas.
Shit.
Yeah, and it's only June.
I was thinking it was bad because it was like 81 here. 104.
Yeah. Texas is a bit of a blast furnace.
Yeah, it's a good thing that Greg Abbott is what am I calling him now? What am I calling the grab ass butt has
grab ass butt, yeah.
What did he get rid of? The mandatory water breaks for state employees working out in the heat.
Yes, he did. That's called leadership. Yeah, there's a letter carrier in Dallas.
Was it Dallas?
Houston.
Okay.
Well, yeah, died in the heat.
So you've got a lot of people who are mooth in Texas who are going to be keeling over because they can't get two 15-minute water breaks. Is that right? Two 15-minute water breaks.
I think that's right. Yeah.
Way to go, Governor Ass Butt. Right. Appreciate it.
Yes. Thank you, Texas.
Okay, mooth. That's a new one. I like that.
Mooth. Yep. All right. For my little story this week, we're going to dive back into. Actually, it's sort of kind of kismet because I think we may have done this last time because we're going to dive back into idioms. I think the last time we did a college game was also one of the episodes where I did idioms.
Oh, okay, cool.
I think we actually have done enough episodes now. They've definitely started to run together. So that may or may not be true. So after the last one, I did a little posting on Nextdoor. Just that app where you can post about there's a stray dog, there's a whatever, right?
Yeah.
And just because I was curious to see what people will say, I post on there, hey, I do this podcast. I'm looking for local catchphrases or idioms or expressions or whatever that you said, your grandparents said, whatever, right? Over the course of a couple weeks, 3 weeks, had a total of just over 200 comments in response to my original post, and they weren't all suggestions. People were I posted it, and then people started going back and forth among each other. They posted that, and someone said, "Oh yeah, my grandma said that too," and this is her version of it. So there's all this interplay. So I had to go back through and sort of cull through and sort of pick out the ones that I thought were interesting and funny and sort of worth sharing. The boring ones don't really interest me. Fair to Midland, bright-eyed bushy tails, peas in a pod. Yeah, those don't
fair to Midland is interesting because I used to say that as a kid, but the actual phrase is it morphed into fair to Midland because we think of Midland, Texas,
right?
But it's actually fair to middling is the actual phrase.
Okay.
How are things? Oh, they're fair to middling.
Fair to middling.
Meaning
Okay.
It's like
I assumed it was Midland as the town as well.
It's average to so. Because when I was a kid, I was like, Midland. I mean, why would you want to go to Midland?
Right. And
that's a good one, though.
Yeah. Why isn't the expression fair to Odessa? No.
Yeah, exactly. Because it might as well be. They're right next to each other. Okay, cool. All right. So it's more of these family idioms. Okay.
Right. So I will mention a few just first names here of folks that shared this just for grins, but no last names. Most of these are folks that live within, frankly, a few miles of me. Carolyn wrote in, and Carolyn is there's a picture of her, probably in her 70s. Carolyn wrote in that her there's a family expression that her mother or grandmother used that was butter my buns and call me a biscuit. Like, okay, is that a compliment? I don't know. Your head is so far up your ass, a glass navel wouldn't help you see things clearly.
That's also from Carolyn.
That's from someone else. But it's kind of a complicated one, but I like that.
Glass navel.
A woman named Caroline, not Carolyn. Caroline wrote in and said, my granny, who was Scottish, would say a lick and a promise, referring to my brother and I not wanting to take baths during the summer. And so, a lick and a promise was, washing your face or washing your armpit, your face and your armpits, and the bare bones because it's 1,000 degrees outside. My mom talks about a spit bath being essentially the same thing. But Caroline also says my late husband's Uncle Al would say, quote, took off like a ruptured duck, unquote. So if you've taken off like a ruptured duck, you're talking about someone or something that's just moving quickly. But apparently that has some sort of connection to World War II, military lingo. Carolyn, another Carolyn, a different Carolyn this time. Her family referred to paper towels as Scotch towels, not Scottish towels, like Scotchgard. I didn't understand that at all. And then she wrote, my grandmother, who was born in 1891 in Georgia, used to tell a joke. This is actually not very helpful. Unfortunately, I can't really remember it. But what I do remember about it is this: name 3 vegetables. Lettuce, turnip, and pea. Like, is that the punchline? They kind of sound lettuce, turnip, and whatever.
Lettuce, turnip.
Lettuce,
so let us
turn up
here
and
and
pea. Right.
Okay.
It's like Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe, right?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Same thing. Karen wrote, I like describing a blowhard or a faker personality as someone who is, quote, all hat and no cattle.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, that's an old Texas phrase. Yeah,
I've never heard that one before. All hat and no cattle. Okay, great. Janice wrote, for someone who's a little bit crazy, she's nuttier than a peach orchard boar. BORE. Peach orchard boar. No idea. My favorite along those lines is she's nuttier than squirrel shit. Is the one that I always thought was hilarious.
Yeah, that's peach orchard. I wonder if a peach orchard boar is like some kind of insect that eats the.
Oh, could be.
Eats and gets
something like a weevil or who knows?
Peach orchard, and it's BORE, not boar like a what do you call
pig,
it?
like a pig
eats fermented fruit and gets drunk. That's what I was thinking. Okay.
Yeah, who knows? Carl writes in and says he just offers up the expression, which is in Latin sic gorgimus allos subjecticos nunc, which means apparently we gladly feast on those who would subdue us. Okay, that's a hard one to work into conversation. It's like, yeah, we don't want Uncle Carl coming around with his creepy Latin. So yeah,
we will eat our enemies. Okay,
right. So Tara writes in. She works with classic cars, and she always liked the expression "whatever blows your hair back." And there are a jillion of these.
Yeah.
Whatever lights your fire, whatever turns you on, whatever revs your engine, whatever floats your boat, whatever churns your butter, whatever sticks your wicket, whatever whatever blows your hair back,
whatever strokes your goat. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's all whole collection there that are all pretty good.
Blows your hair back.
Sarah writes in. There's a German expression that their mother would say. That her mother would say when they were being offered food they didn't really want. Im Hunger frisst der Teufel Flöhi, which means in hunger the devil will in hunger the devil will eat fleas. It's basically German for "fuck you, kids." Eat,
Yeah.
but yeah. So I'm sure in German, especially said more authentically, it comes off like a threat.
Beggars can't be choosers.
Yeah,
what's
right.
in front of you? Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, right, exactly.
We should have some kind of sound. We should have a sound for when we have a German word that comes into the conversation. Just a Matterhorn blows or something, or a what do you call it? One of the bands that they have.
Mm-hmm.
An oompa band sound comes in. And,
yeah, the accordion.
Yeah, there you go.
Right. Carl, I'm not sure whether it's the same Carl as
Is it in Latin?
No, this is not in Latin. Writes in, apparently this is from Buckaroo Banzai. Like, oh my god. No matter where you go, no matter where you go, there you are, which is one of those quotes that sounds like it's supposed to be insightful or something, but it's just kind of stupid. Like, okay, yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah, whatever. No matter where you are, there. No matter where you go, there you are. Great. Pam writes in, we're off like a. There are a whole bunch of these as well. They're ones
off like a shot, off like a.
Right. Pam offered up, we're off like a herd of turtles, I guess, if you're moving slowly, but quickly, then off like a dirty shirt or off like a prom dress. Is the quick thing. Right. I'd laugh at this one because this is definitely an expression that I use and apparently is very Texas, very Texas oriented, and that is chunk of change. That's going to set you back a chunk of change. You have a fender bender. You have a new hidden unexpected cost. That's going to be a chunk of change for a wad of money.
That's going to set you back a chunk of change. Yeah,
right.
Okay.
Yeah. That's definitely Texas. There are a whole bunch that are he's uglier than or she's uglier than. 10 miles of bad road. He's ugly. That's a good one. He's uglier than homemade soup. Like, okay. Also pretty good. The Becky writes in. Becky lives in the Government Hill neighborhood here in San Antonio. You can't make a silk's purse out of a sow's ear. Whatever. That's not enough to grease a cat's eye. Something that's a tiny amount. Okay, fine. Next one comes from Pamela. She wrote this in and offered up no explanation whatsoever. The expression is tighter than Dick's hat band. I have a Charlie horse. My leg hurts. It's tighter than Dick's hat band. I don't know. I don't know the usage on this one, but apparently Dick's hat band was tight.
Guess you had to know Dick.
I guess so. Carol writes in, offered up two that were like, I've got a frog in my throat. Okay, yeah, that's very, very common. Knee high to a grasshopper, also very common. The third one she offered up was sharp as jailhouse coffee. I'm sorry, what the hell does that mean? Like, is that sharp as a knife? Is that like a sharp comment?
Sharp tasting.
Well,
yeah. So
I'm sure they're making the comparison to jailhouse coffee being bitter and black and nasty,
or sludgy and gross, which means it's not sharp at all. So
right,
yeah.
I don't know. The sharp as jailhouse coffee.
It's like the foghorn leghorn. It's like the foghorn leghorn. That boy's as sharp as a sack full of wet mice. That kind of
right. Sandy writes in and offered up as helpful as a chicken with lips. Okay, or scarce as hen's teeth. Okay, someone not being helpful, vanishing when there's work to be done, or
impossible to find because it doesn't exist.
Right.
Hen's teeth.
John wrote in and said this is a Texican saying that he was aware of when he was a kid. In Spanish, la invitan a la boda y se quiere casar means, it translates to English as she gets invited to the wedding, but she wants to get married. It's always the bridesmaid, never the bride, basically. But he also offered up, they serving cake y quiere frosting. They're serving cake, but you want frosting.
Okay.
Which I kind of like as well. Another one that apparently is Texas centric as well. Don't tump that over. Tump as
I love that word. Yes,
a
yes.
fabulous word, as knocking over a glass of water, whatever, right? Knocking over something that they shouldn't. Tumping over. Apparently, that is exclusive to Texas. You say it anywhere else, people look at you like you're nuts.
It's also good for something like if you've got a big tin wash bin that you need help me tump this over, where you just you need help. Yeah, tump is a great word.
Yeah.
And I used it once. I think when I was living in Utah, it was like, what the hell are you talking about?
Right. Are you having a stroke? Right.
Are you trying to say thump or trunk or thumb? What is it you're saying?
So I didn't put the name down for this one. So this person, I didn't copy her. I think this was a woman wrote these several down. Several of them were common ones that didn't interest me. 6 of one, half dozen of the other. I got no dog in that hunt. Don't beat a dead horse. You can lead a horse. They're always all sort of horse centric. Lead a horse to water, etc. I've heard versions of this, but she offered up colder than a witch's titty in a brass bra.
Oh, I got a story about that one.
Go ahead. Offline.
No, I can tell it. One of my uncles used to say that, and
with the brass bar. I've heard
not with the brass bar, just like
okay.
colder as not with the brass bar part, but he was a kid. He would say it, and I would get all embarrassed about it. And so one day we were dining in, back when you could dine in at a Pizza Hut, and they were like, so it's colder than what? Colder than what? And apparently I yelled out at the top of my lungs, colder than a witch's tit, colder than a witch's tit, just at the top of my lungs in this Pizza Hut, and just embarrassed everybody. So anyway,
good.
The brass bra is a nice touch, though.
And a nice little extra right on the end there.
Lenyop, yes, very nice.
Yep. I think this is Cheryl, Ceryl, Cheryl minus the H. Wrote in, and I laughed out loud at this. Her line was, looking for sympathy? Look in the dictionary. It's somewhere between shit and syphilis. Okay, that's pretty good.
She's not wrong. It is
no. Yeah, you can't fault her accuracy. Jamie writes in, I think this is kind of like is the Pope Catholic expression. Jamie's offering is a frog's butt watertight.
Yeah, okay. I've heard a version of that one. Yeah.
Okay. Beth writes in and offered up, who lit the fuse on your tampon? For someone who's upset. There are other versions of that I've heard, which I will not share here. But still, okay. Pretty funny. And then of course there are it's not even, I could do an episode just on what, the regional expressions that people use to describe someone who is stupid, right? So expressions for stupid people that, some of these I guess must be just Texas, from Texas. That boy's cheese done slipped off his cracker, which I kind of like. And then there are a jillion of he's a couple blank short of a blank. He's a couple sandwiches short of a picnic. He's a couple eggs short of a dozen. He's a couple slices short of a loaf. You can do that. You can play that game all day long. This 2 sandwiches short of a picnic is one of my favorites.
Yeah, the one that I always liked was I might have mentioned this other one. His mama should have hit him in the head and sold her milk. That's one that I've always liked. Yeah. Like that maybe not that he's stupid, but maybe that he's a troublemaker or he's worthless or that kind of thing. Yeah.
Right, there you go. So I think I mentioned this perhaps on another episode. The American, very, very common American insult to call someone a dickhead. The UK version of that is bell end, which is really much sort of classier and is a word that no one in this country would ever edit out. They would never, that would never be bleeped on broadcast TV, probably. because no one here knows what it is. But the other insult that I've heard recently, which I just love because it sounds funny. Calling someone a prick biscuit is apparently is another UK insult. Doesn't make any sense, but it's just fun to say.
Oh, okay.
Joanne offered up that, so you're asked, how are you doing? Some Southerners, according to her, might reply with, I'm finer than a frog hair split 4 ways. Like, okay.
That's a new one on me. I've not heard that
yep.
one.
A couple of folks wrote in and mentioned fiddle farting and dilly dallying. This was like multiple people, and then there was some consensus among the group that fiddle farting and dilly dallying were the same thing. So good to know. Also, great funny words. Guy named Gregory wrote in and said, whenever it would rain while the sun was shining, my grandmother, who was born just outside of Turkey, Texas, in 1894. Turkey, Texas is way out in the middle of it's Lubbock, Amarillo area. It's Panhandle area, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So when the rain is falling, when the sun is out, his grandmother would say, "The devil is spanking his wife."
That's my grandmother used that phrase.
Oh, really? Okay.
Except her phrase was, "The devil's beating his wife with a hairbrush," is what she used to say. Seriously. This is the same family that gave us the Lauderstein bit.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
From episode 2, I think. From
episode 2, yeah.
Yeah, a million years ago. Okay. And Gregory goes on to say that he thought it was just her expression, but he found it later on. It's common. It's apparently quite common among the southern states. So there you have it. More idioms, this time sort of Texas centric. I had started to do some research into Irish, Scottish, English, focusing, kind of digging deeper into some of those idioms, but 3/4 of them are all just about drinking. So that got boring after a while. Oh yeah, that's another expression for being drunk. That's another expression for okay. So this time, Texas idioms.
That's good stuff. I have some thoughts, as they say on Yahoo. I've got some thoughts. The licking a promise.
Mm-hmm.
My dad and his hunting buddies used to call that a PTA bath.
Okay.
You know what that stands for? Yeah.
No.
PTA.
No.
Pubic tits, armpits. Where you just wash your armpits, you wash your private parts, and and then some animal related ones. I feel rode hard and put up wet.
Yeah. That was mentioned a couple times as well.
Yeah,
right?
That's an old Texas one. And then 2 dog ones that I always heard was crooked as a dog's hind leg.
Mm-hmm.
That dog don't hunt, which is another one which doesn't make sense. And then of course I grew up hearing the phrase "yellow dog Democrat," where you'd rather vote for a yellow dog than any other person. And then one of my personal favorites, when someone is going on about speculating about what would happen if a frog had wings, he wouldn't bump his ass a hopping. That's one of my favorites. And then you mentioned fiddle farting. That's a really great one because one of my favorite podcasts is the old. They still do new episodes every now and then, but it's a Zodiac podcast, and it's put on by Mike Morford and a guy named Rich Grinnell. And Rich Grinnell's from England. Mike Morford is somewhere here in the States. He also does a couple of other true crime podcasts. And they do a whole section on, at one point, Zodiac in one of his notes uses the term fiddle farting. And they're trying to track down the etymology to determine if that would help us. Zodiac killer.
Okay.
And maybe that would help us determine where the Zodiac was from. And a lot of people are saying that's a Texas thing. It's a Texas Oklahoma thing.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, okay. I heard that growing up all the time. Stop fiddle farting around. I say to my boys, "What are you fiddle farting? What are you doing?" And I would say it more than dilly dallying. I would say, "Stop fiddle farting around." What? Fold your laundry or do whatever. So I find that one phrase very interesting. I've only heard it in the South and in Texas. Is fiddle farting. So that's good stuff, man. That is hilarious. Some of those I have never heard. Oh God.
It's funny. I think it's the most recent Texas Monthly, or it could have been last month's, had. I didn't actually. I chose not to use it just because I didn't want to just kind of steal from them. But there was in a very recent Texas Monthly, there is a much more extensive list of here's how Texans describe someone who's really pretty. Here's there's like 200 different examples in there, most of which you would have recognized, but some of them are pretty funny too.
Oh, that's good stuff, man. That is good stuff. Woo.
Well, thanks for fiddle farting around with us for another episode of Dream Idiots. We appreciate it.
Yes, this is a nice lighthearted episode. We will no doubt get back to some darker topics here in the next few episodes, but thanks for hanging out with us and for sharing your idioms and for listening and for spreading the word about Dream Idiots. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. And please like and share and subscribe. Shoot us a review if you haven't done so. That's really, really helpful in terms of getting us to climb charts. That'd be great. And drop us a line if you want. dreamidiotspodcast@gmail.com. We're always available. We're always here. And we'll be back again soon.
And be good to each other as always.
This is a Rough Tiger production.
Bong bong. Bryan.
Bong bong?
Bong bong.
Bong bong. Good.